So, it's an interview with Sue Smith for the Accidental Archivist project, which is supported by National Lottery Heritage Fund. Sue, as by a bit of background, were you born in Luton or anything?
No, I wasn't born in Luton. No, I was born in London. I was born in Wandsworth and I lived in Balham next to Tooting Common, South London. And then we moved to moved to Luton when I was about 5. And the first thing I noticed about Luton was its smell of it was a brewery. It was Green's Brewery.
Oh yeah, Park Street Way.
Yeah, but it stunk. And you're a 5-year-old thinking, why are we coming here from London? It smells. I don't want to be here. But apart from that, it worked out all right.
So you went to schools in Luton?
Yeah. I went to Ferrers, juniors, infants. Then I went on to Chorley, Girls High. That was an experience. And and I got a job. What did I do? I worked in the market. I worked in the market on Reenie's stall, making sure that the lads didn't nick shirts off the stall for £1 a day.
Was that the indoor market or was it still the outdoor?
No, just moved into the indoor.
Just moved into the indoor.
Yeah. I was about 14, I think, when I did that. And then later on I ended up working at Woolworths. I worked at Woolworths, Saturday girl. And then I left school and became a dental nurse, and the money was rubbish. It was like £7 an hour. So I went back to Woolworths to earn £37 instead.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was about, how old was I then? 17, I think. Yeah, I went back to Woolworths to earn £37, which beats £7 an hour, well, £7 a week, doesn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of year? Well,
what year was that?
Yeah, roughly.
Oh God, I'm saying that'd be about 72. No, I think I left school in 74, so it'd be in 75.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about back those days because it's all changing it with the mail and everything else. And I don't know. Yeah, everything's changed in Luton.
Yeah, loads of things changed.
So anyway, eventually, after all these little jobs and all that stuff, you wandered into 33 at some point.
Oh my God, yeah, I knew about 33 from years ago because I remember Reflex.
Oh right, from the days of the Royal and
yeah.
all
Well,
the
before
bands
that,
and
I remember being like 16 and like I think it was you and that tall bloke with the long hair that my mum used to call Attila the Hun. You were doing a gig in Manchester Street. I think it was either in the old Chelsea Girl or the building next to old Chelsea Girl in Manchester Street.
Wow.
So I was about 16 then, and I was with Adrian Smith, and then you did a gig I think near Miss Peeler's, which was by the post office.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, vaguely remember all those.
Yeah, I remember going
days.
to that, and I was it's probably 16 at the time as well. Yeah.
Oh right, I didn't realise you went back that far. 'Cause Reflex then turned into the people who opened the Art Centre in Guildford Street, but yeah, the gigs at the Royal, sort of, and all the punk stuff that went on.
Yeah, you had Damned. I went to see the Damned at the Royal. I think it was on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
About 50p to get in or something. Yeah.
So, yeah, really exorbitant fee. And you know what happened that evening with the Damned when Jean McClements. Do you remember Jean?
Jean McClement. I remember Jean. She was
Jean
a bit
Hodge.
outrageous, wasn't she?
Yeah. She put them up in her house.
Oh, did she?
In living in Fardy Hill, and I think a couple of members of the roadies broke into the chemist up there. All of the stuff from the band.
Oh, was it them that did it?
Yeah. So
that was a long time ago, wasn't it? Because there's some
absolutely.
other people that got blamed for that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they raided the chemist, did they? For whatever reason.
That's
right. Because I know someone that got. Yeah, I know someone that got blamed for that. They went down their house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know to see him later on as well.
Yeah, that's the urban legend anyway.
Yeah.
Jean sort
of
mentioned that recently when we were talking.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
So was it that when 33 opened, was it the gigs that got you in there initially, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when people used to sit on the floor and shake their heads.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's a long time ago. Then it got gradually people started standing up. Then only later on people started jumping up and down. But,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was a good place, 33. I remember me and Dizzy walking past one night, and there was this little lad sitting in the doorway going, "Is there anywhere open?" And I was like, 33. We went, "No, lad, no, sorry." Because I used to do hypnagogia? They used to do like music nights, didn't they, on a Saturday?
That's right, yeah.
That was good.
Then we had the folk club there and a bit of jazz occasionally.
Yeah.
And then bits of the punk scene.
Punk.
Scene.
And did films, didn't you?
Films, yeah, and then theatre groups, and so yeah, it became something for everyone there really.
And you had the studio. I remember the studio.
Yeah, with Spawn.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, all sorts of things going on in the studio. Good things.
Then eventually you got involved in projects there. And
Yeah. That was strange, wasn't it? I got criticised for that by somebody in the Afro-Caribbean community, because at the time the youth house was shutting down.
Right.
And they knew I was supporting like 33, and they were a bit like, "Ooh, youth house is shutting down. You're trying to keep like the old centre open." I mean, do you mean? But
Yeah, I mean it was a kind of a funny old mix of way things were funded in those days, and
yeah,
you know, so it was very difficult. And but the politics, local politics, have always been strange in it, I think, in terms of.
well, you're going to have local politics, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I remember, me and Dizzy starting off the first bid in the garden. My mum bought us a pen for Christmas, a really nice pen, and Dizzy, she filled it in. I helped her with words and that, and we filled it. We had a bottle of wine. We were smoking, obviously. It was a sunny day. We filled in this grant application for, I think, a lottery bid for like £500 or something small. And we filled in what was the other one? A community chest from Luton Voluntary Action.
Oh, right.
And that was the initial SNAP project. That was, what would we call it then? Social Narcotics Awareness Project.
That's right. Yeah.
Because at the time I've been working for DrugLink. Was it Drugline in Clarendon Road?
Yeah, I think in Clarendon it was Drugline, wasn't it?
Yeah, Drugline, and I was the outreach worker at the time for ethnic minorities in the rave scene, and that come to an end. And then 33 was shutting down due thanks to the council, cheers, Luton Borough Council, and we've spoken to Muddy, and she told us about art and how it could, how photography is good for building up self-esteem. And she gave us some tips. So, I mean, Dizzy filled in the application, got the money, did a 10-week project with Huey. It was a success. It was a blinding success. And then Muddy and you took it on and got the SRB funding, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
That was European funding.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about the community chest funding, the pilot. So the pilot money came from that then?
The pilot money came from the community chest,
right, okay.
And it came from the lottery. It was an small arts grant. I think it was £500 or something. It wasn't loads, but it did not. I think we did a project for 10 weeks.
And when did the name change come after that initial pilot, or?
It came after the pilot because it was social narcotics and it was more drug related.
Yeah.
Funding you wouldn't get funding for drugs in other funding streams, so we changed it to needs, social needs awareness, so we could get more funding drawn in, or might get more funding drawn in.
And then it broadened out into, with kids with alcohol problems and not just
alcohol problems, kids that bullied from school. We got, thinking about it, we had kids referred from, I think, was it the criminal justice system? We had kids referred from the probation. Social services, children and families team, education. We got kids later referred from education kids that weren't in school.
Was that where I always forget the NEAT thing? Was that
the main thing behind NEAT was like not in education or employment or training.
Okay.
So that was what the project was initially geared at. It was for kids that were at risk, from substance misuse, be it alcohol, be it drugs. And then it broadened out to like NEAT, So it was effectively kids living in hostels, homeless, kids in care, where else? Anywhere where kids weren't like going to school or getting into employment or at college.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't directly involved with SNAP, but I saw the kind of the benefits it brought to kids, through the photography side of it. especially, you know, with
Yeah,
that kind of self-image business. And
help them develop self-esteem
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember some of the running into problems with the church at one point.
The
wasn't there?
church.
Do you remember with the crucifix scene that Huey did? That was part of.
Oh, that
That's-
was about opium, wasn't it? About
Yeah.
heroin, yeah. What the church meant about it?
I think it was we've come across some letters, I think, from church in Dunstable saying that we should
Oh, tone it down.
turn it down and
Bit
tone it
late.
down. Yeah,
Tone
it's a
it
bit
down.
late. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit late. It's already done.
But yeah, the benefit was that, and the other thing, looking into the project from the outside kind of thing, is you saw all the benefits of the signposting Snap did, you know, to other organisations.
Yeah, yeah. Did a lot of signposting because we were doing signposting before Connections was even invented.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've signposted kids onto like the appropriate agencies for their, I don't know, for their social needs, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, the welfare of their
Yeah.
emotional states or their health, mental health. Yeah, even employment or even their, what was it, college. A lot of kids went on to college, didn't they, from Snap?
Yes, kind of got convinced that, you know, they were of worth, you know, and,
Mhm.
and they went on to develop their own lives and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think back to like one of the girls, Sam. She went to uni, didn't she? Sam Fox.
Oh, Sam, yes, and
Yeah.
she got a
She got a masters in the end, didn't
master's,
she?
yeah.
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 She did really well. And then there were moving on. There were some other kids that grew up and they went to work in hostels. And I'll bump into them when I was doing other work, seeing them in hostels as key workers. That was quite good to see.
Yeah. But you yourself went on, did a load of kind of study as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I went back to uni, went did masters, because it was free at the time.
Yes.
So, thanks European Social Funding, thanks, yeah. But yeah, so I went and did that, and then I followed an academic route for a little while. And yeah, it's good.
A lot of people said to me that the project was successful because it was like an open door policy, in the sense that kids felt ownership of the
Yeah.
project.
They did.
You know.
And we didn't bar anybody. I don't think we ever barred anybody, because I was all about inclusion and treating them with positive regard regardless of where they come from. And I was looking at some stuff before I come up here, and I found some cards, and I realised that I'd forgotten actually there was a lot of love in that project. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the kids came in, we didn't know them, we didn't really do risk assessments back then. Thinking about it, we didn't go wow, and we didn't really have much of a clue about mental health either. We knew kids were anxious or depressed, but we didn't know about things like anxiety, borderline personality disorder, and all those other things like conduct disorder, which was probably dealt with.
Yeah.
Thinking back
But
about it.
dealt with in a natural way.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, and fairly, I think.
Yeah.
We had boundaries, and they got to, I think they knew that where they stood with us. And I remember reading, I bought a Reader's Digest book in. I remember showing Huey, and it was about art therapy, and it was about how two people could act as parental substitutes. If you're, positive role models and parental substitutes, and me and Huey agreeing that that's what we were doing at the time.
Yeah.
These kids, not realising at the time, but then you see it in a book, think, oh yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah. It was kind of natural. I mean,
He was excellent with the kids.
Huey was way ahead of the time, wasn't he? Really, with the work he did. And
Yeah.
it was.
His art, it was amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And his skills were like, we were talking earlier, weren't we, about used to cut out the negatives, and that's how we got the money, I think, because we convinced the manager at the time of Druglink to give us £300 match funding. I think Dizzy did that. Yeah, she talked to him by saying that Hugh's photographs were in Brighton advertising a homeless project or something, and the manager at the time gave us £300 towards the project, thinking he'd be raking some money back in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting that. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean.
But Hugh was amazing, cutting the layers out and relaying them on top. Before.
And Huey got on better with the kids than he did with the dogs, really, didn't he? As well. He was kind of. He was in his natural element, working with that. Yeah. And then there were kind of things you got involved with, like the Canada project and all of those things.
Canada project?
Calendar.
Oh, the calendar project, yeah. I think Huey did that. I didn't have much to do with the calendar project.
Oh, you didn't have, yeah. I always
No,
thought it was kind of, in a sense, it was a spin-off of some of the work that was being done.
No, I think he did the calendar project, and then me and Dizzy came along, and then went, can we work with you, Huey? And he went, yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, I'm trying to get everything in a chronological order.
Yeah,
It's
I did it so many years ago. So it was he did the calendar project, because he had stacks of them, didn't he, in the hallway or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we came along and said, like, do you want to work with us? And he went, yeah. And so, yeah, about 9 years. Yeah, I was working with Huey and you guys for 9 years.
Yeah, God.
Longest job I ever had.
And it's interesting that at 33, when with Snap, the kids didn't have to kind of sign in, did they, to come through the door and all of that stuff?
Not really. We did like an assessment.
Register, yeah.
Yeah, we got. I think we had a form to say, write your name down here, but they never did. You have to go and do it afterwards after they'd been and gone. But yeah, I remember we had at one point we had over 20 kids in that room.
Yeah.
And there was just 2 of us, and it was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? And we'd have schools coming in, bringing their kids in. We'd go and do outreach, at either Dunstable or Luton, Marsh Farm. We did went out to, where was it? I can't remember. Adibop. No, it wasn't Adibop. It was the Centre for Youth and Community Development down in Bury Park, and we did a knife project with them. That was over 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it was really...
first aid as well with them as well.
Yeah, I mean, the knife thing, it's really early on, isn't it, in terms of the way that people think about it now. They think every time there's a new initiative, they think it's a new initiative.
It's not, not, because men have been carrying knives since forever, haven't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean to say you're a bad person, it just means that men like carrying knives and stones and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even women carry well, not every woman, but some women do carry knives.
Yeah.
Like pen knives. But it's just old hat really. But yeah, we did a knife project back then. When was that? In the 20s.
Yeah, probably just the turn of the millennium or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And the project went on, didn't it, into the hat factory and things, and then things got a lot tighter, didn't they? Because there were more restrictions. And
God, I remember getting called up by some old bat. And I had to go and see her upstairs. I seen the headmistress.
Yeah.
She's going, oh, can you keep the noise down? There's lots of swearing.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, do you know what I mean? I think that's the only time I ever shut the door and shut the windows and like it said, right, you lot, you've got to tone it down, because I've just been hauled up in front of this woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately that made a real difference to the scheme, didn't it? It wasn't just the end of the funding, but there was the attitudes changed, I think.
The attitudes. The people didn't like the Snap Kids.
Yeah.
The rest of the building didn't like the Snap Kids. They thought they were like troublesome. They didn't understand the project. Yeah, they were just really negative towards.
Yeah. I mean, I always blame that on the whole, the ownership issues. You know, at 33 the project worked because the kids did feel part of the project. They were involved in it, kind of make decision making and stuff like that. And I mean, I know that philosophy carried on when we moved, but it wasn't so easy because we had other restrictions.
Yeah, just caretakers moaning about this, that and the other. And everyone just liked to moan and say, oh, go away. Yeah. But you were sort of stuck because you live in there in the shared building, and you knew it's just like working at a community centre, isn't it? It's like an us and them. It's like, or working nights, do you know what I mean? You're working nights and one team goes, oh, it's a day staff. Oh, no, it's the night staff. But it's, oh no, it's the Snap Kids. Yeah. Anything went wrong, it's the Snap Kids.
When it eventually sort of ground down, you actually moved from Luton, didn't you?
Sorry?
You actually moved from Luton in the end.
Yeah.
And was that just about personal?
I've always wanted to live in the southwest.
Yeah. And
the idea was to go and live in Somerset, but we couldn't get a place to live in Somerset, so we went further down and moved to Devon.
Right.
Yeah, and nothing, there's no youth projects like that. Youth projects down there are rubbish. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, we haven't got any funding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apathy, just general apathy everywhere, because no one's got any funding.
For sure.
And at the time we were really lucky because we had it was a Labour government, not saying this Labour government's going to be any better, but we had Labour government, and there was drug money coming in, there was money for training, there was Build a Better Britain initiative, and tackling drugs together, and there was loads of money getting thrown at community groups because they wanted to tackle the issue. Do you mean they do preventative work? But now it's all about abstinence, isn't it? Don't do drugs. Yeah, or come off them in 6 weeks, which doesn't work.
Yeah, and now it's all about closing the stable door, isn't it? After it's all happened, and I think not only in the arts but certainly in social work, that kind of decline of facilities, youth facilities. And, you know, these things were taken for granted in the period we're talking about.
Even in the 90s, everyone. There was loads of community organisations, wasn't there, in Luton and in London, but that's all gone now. Yeah,
and they kind of networked together, didn't they?
Yeah.
And supported the issues that were, you know.
And talked to one another. Do you know what I mean? There was always forums going on with, sort of grassroots level where like agencies like Luton Community Arts Trust would go and network with not Voluntary Action Luton, but those sort of
those
people.
organisations.
Yeah.
Let's hope things come back a bit like that, you know, because nothing's improved, has it, in terms of society, in terms of what kids do and trouble they get into.
I don't know, because kids are different now, aren't they, from then? Like, they're more in their bedrooms, they're more on their phones, so it's more insular, so I imagine there'd be more, I don't know, more isolation.
Yeah.
Whereas kids were more out then, do you mean?
Yeah, they worked together, didn't they, and did things together. And
yeah,
you're right, the kind of social media thing is isolated some people a lot.
And that's quite worrying because then you'll get loads of mental health problems and lack of confidence and lack of social skills and all the things we were trying to build up at Snap, which was like building up self-esteem, having confidence to say what you want without fear, and now it's just gone reverse, isn't it? Because you've got a phone and a camera and Facebook and TikTok and
the kind of feedback we've had from kids who went through that Snap project are now really grown up, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they see that as a pinnacle part of their growing up, was changing their lives a bit.
Oh, that's good.
So there's a lot of positivity came out of it. I mean, there's obviously some that went by the wayside, but it's interesting. I mean, you're not in the same situation now, but I think there's still a need, isn't there, for these kinds of projects with kids. And
oh God, yeah. And when they say that like art helps, do you know what I mean? People say, oh, art helps. Do you know what I mean? You think, well, it's nothing new. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
It's just like, oh God, where have you been for the last 40 years?
Yeah, that's the frustration of it, isn't it? Is that, as a society, we keep trying to reinvent the wheel, and we always go back to day one again, and it's crazy.
Or as my mum would say, the wheels keep going round.
Yeah.
And they do, but it's a shame for people that haven't got like community arts projects. They haven't got even community projects they can go to, let alone art. But
and it comes back to doesn't it, facilities and resources, and the way that money passes into organisations.
Yeah, when the government, haven't they? They've cut loads of money for central government has cut money at local level across the country. So all local authorities are running on a purse string, do you know what I mean? Like, they haven't got any money to deliver services, not even the appropriate services, let alone like nice facilities for people to do additional things, do you know what I mean? And if you want to do art things, especially down in Devon, £75 a time. I mean, who's got £75 to go and do silver? I haven't.
Crazy, so it's taken out the reach of normal people, which is crazy. And that was the whole, back then, that was the philosophy of community arts. It wasn't about painting a red nose on someone, it was about people getting involved in creative work. To anybody getting in,
And being inclusive, and that's what the project was about.
Yeah, and the trouble now is funding comes kind of top down and feeds the money in the organisation, but doesn't reach the people who need it. So
no, it goes to CEOs that run the companies that are supposed to be charities, and they're not really charities, they're business models.
Business monies and gentrification of buildings.
Yes.
and all that stuff.
I've heard that word before, gentrification. Yeah, okay. But no, the project was good. It was really good. It helped a lot of people, helped a lot of young people. And that's all you want, innit? Just do something useful.
Yeah. Do you keep in touch with Huey at all? Or?
Sporadically, yeah. Sporadically. I was tempted to say, I'm coming up here. I heard you didn't do the interview face to face. Come and join me. But I thought, I don't want to put him on the spot, so I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I'm in contact with Pete a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and a couple of kids. And Brian, every now and again I get a text from him on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
He's always buying guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah.
And there's a wealth of kind of documentation, photographs from that period.
Sorry?
There's lots of photographs from that period and
Oh God, yeah.
documentation of the work that was done. So
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
You don't realise what issues you tackled until you start looking at the photographs and think, oh yeah, we did that, knife crime, we did HIV, we did, what is it, preconceptional care, which means like what do you do with preconceptional care in relation to pregnancy. What was the other thing? We did loads. We were well ahead of our time, really.
Yeah, I forgot about the HIV thing, but that was
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you did stuff about that, didn't you?
We did that. We did
Yeah.
pregnancy. I think we did sexual health, chlamydia. We got even money from, I think it was the Health Action Zone or something. I think it was the Health Action Zone. And we did a card for the GUM clinic. I'm pretty sure we did that. What else? Health Action Zone money. We did loads of things. But I can't remember them all
No.
because it's so long ago.
Yeah. 30, 40 years, isn't it? No, so.
30 years? Well, I think it's 30 years, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, 30 years. Going on 40. Yeah.
God. Sue, thanks so much for talking to us.
That's all right, you're welcome.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And yeah, if you want to add anything, please do. You know.
It's probably one of the best jobs I ever had.
Cool. That'll do.